Now we're set.
All right, guys, welcome to another Sunday edition of Rolling with the Punches. Today we have a lot of boxing to talk about. We had some exciting fights this weekend, and each one of us here at Rolling with the Punches, Dave Contreras out there in Fort Lauderdale. We have the champion Mighty Mike Anchondo, and we have Dave Trujillo and myself, Jaime Ochoa. We all kind of took part in on looking at the different fight cards out there this past weekend. So we all so that way we can cover all our bases. And as of right now, we're going to jump to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and have Dave Contreras talk about what he saw on the zone fights, and then we'll just take some questions. If you're seeing this live, please hit us up right now with any questions that you have. If you agree, disagree on the comments that we're making, we really appreciate it. So let's go forward. And let's go out there to the East Coast with Dave Contreras. And what do you got out there, Dave? What did you see out there this weekend that impressed
Hey,
you or did not impress you?
hey, guys, I'm telling you, man, what a weekend of boxing. My God, it was. I mean, talking about on the zone, and I'll talk about the zone fights on ESPN, on Showtime pay-per-view, and there was other fights that were on pay-per-view, and I'll mention them at the end of the show. But what a night of boxing! But before I continue, Jaime, we're praying for you, for your father, that God may bring peace to your family. We understand he's in hospice, and over here in Fort Lauderdale, my mom in Chula Vista, California, is praying for you and your family. And Mighty Mike, my mom also is praying for your father, and over here in Fort Lauderdale for your grandfather who was on our show about a month ago. I understand he's also in hospice, and we're also praying for your family that God may give you comfort and peace during these times. With that said, guys, I'm telling you, if you missed the zone this weekend, I'm telling you, Canelo Alvarez, he's not only a multi millionaire, and he's not only a great businessman, but now he's developed not only a relationship but also a business relationship with DAZN. And now they said it was it's a contract with five presentations. They're all going to be in Guadalajara. They're sponsored by Canelo. Now has his own promotional company, him and Eddie Reynoso, and they're going to be targeting only Mex. Well, they're going to be targeting fighters in general, but they're going to be basically presenting a lot of the local fighters from Tepito, Nayarit, from different areas. I'm telling you, the card last night. If you are a boxing fan, you basically, if you have popcorn, you wouldn't have taken a bite, because it was a great card. Starting, there was probably about 6 fights, 5 or 6 fights, but every fight. I mean, when they talk about Mexican style on the zone with Canelo Promotions, I'm telling you, it was Mexican style starting from the very beginning. And we also had a California fighter. We had Pacheco. He's that 6'4", 157-pound future champion. He's from, I think, I'm not sure where he's from, Texas, I think, but he's currently training in Los Angeles. He's 6'4", fights 157. He's getting
Wow.
ready. He's already not calling him out, but he's already saying, "Hey, you know what? Someday I'll fight Charlo for all the belts." And I know Charles and Castaño are fighting in 2 weeks. But I'm telling you, the best fight of the night was the last fight, which was Cesar Martinez against Cordova, and it was a knockout. But I'm telling you, it was just every fight. And I mean, we watch fights to see Mexican style. Every fight was Mexican style. There was blood everywhere, and it was just great fights. And my hat goes off to the zone and also to Eddie Reynoso and to Canelo Promotions. They got something good going there. And I think in the next couple of weeks, there'll be another the zone. I think basically what I'm reading, that Golden Boy is having some problems with the zone, and it looks like Golden Boy is probably going to be going to Thriller. So the zone, basically, I don't think they need Golden Boy anymore. I think they're going to stay with Canelo Promotions, and I think what they should do is get with Grito de Guerra Promotions with Caesar, and also with the other promotions for companies in LA, and put them all together and make great fights. And
So,
hopefully,
man,
Dave, we're going to be some of you seeing some of your fighters there also fighting on Canelo Promotions and all these other on the zone. Hopefully soon. But guys, I mean, I'm gonna reiterate, it was a night of boxing in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. It was wonderful.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. It's good to hear. I saw a couple of them prior to until I totally tuned out and tuned into the other fight. But you're right, David. Man, there was an action-packed card right there on the zone. Like you said, hats off to those guys. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for we're looking for people to step up to the plate and fight now, not later. And
Yes.
that falls right in. That falls right into the trend that we need to create again, and to get away from the basically the paper champions and the protecting the records and whatnot. So it's really good to hear. Thank you, David, for that update.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for their next card. I'm telling you, Canelo Promotions
Me
and
too.
Eddie Reynoso, they got some good fighters. They're going to give competition to a lot of the major promotional companies in Mexico, like Sanford, Fernando Beltran. They're going to give them competition because, I mean, one thing that I've seen, Canelo's not only a very disciplined fighter, but he's a good businessman. He has good people around him. And I think that they're going to change the stigma that a lot of people have in Mexico or in the United States, that fighters go to Mexico to pad their records. I think they used to, Dave. And you know what? Now with Canelo over there, I mean, I think he's going to say, you're going to come over here, you're going to fight one of my fighters. And I think they're going to fight some good fighters. And their zero might turn out to be a loss, from a zero to a zero, from a hero to a zero. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
David, you're right on that. Unfortunately for what's happened is, a lot of these boxers are going down to TJ. Let's put it here.
Yeah.
Let's clear this up here. And I use Mexico a lot. I should not be using Mexico because Mexico has incredible promotions, incredible fighters all over Mexico. What I've always been a stickler about is, I understand that after the COVID, and we had to get down there to TJ so we could start warming up our fighters. But hey guys, let's stop warming up our fighters in TJ now, and let's get them ready here and put them out there on the market. Whether it's outside of TJ or whether it's in Guadalajara, whether it's here in the U.S. all over the U.S. I mean, we got a lot of good promoters out here. I mean, we got Thompson here that's local. We've got they're all over the place. Grito de Guerra, they're not only local, but they also are in all over Mexico, and they like to use the Firestore Resorts. So I mean, those guys put on some good shows.
Yeah.
The ones that we also have some here. I mean, in the Midwest, all the way like here in the Southwest, we have Airtight, which is really popular in the Southwest. And that's Steve Mestis, and he's House of Pain as well. These guys are the main guys of the House of Pain. They're the ones that blessed us with our gym out here. And he is busy, and he is looking for fighters all over the place to fight here in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anybody saw my post up there. He's looking for pros all over that are ready to fight, whether or not you're contracted with a manager or a promotion company. If you have your promoters, get in touch with us. If you're not, get in touch with us anyway. We'll make things happen for you.
And you know what? Over here in Florida, we have Glenn Johnson with Road Warriors, and he's going to have a big promotion in about 2 weeks. And he's also looking for fighters. And I sent you his number, Dave. Please get a hold of him, because I told him last time I met with him, I go, hey, listen, Southern California has some great fighters. He goes, where are they? I go, well, I'm going to give you some numbers. So now you're going to send the fighters over here. And they're looking for Southern California Mexican fighters. Yeah, Mexican.
You know what? Right away too, I went ahead and I gave that to Steve Mestis out of Airtight Boxing Promotions to hook them guys up too, because we need a network all over the place. We have to use every avenue that we can out here. I'm trying to avoid, and what I'm trying not to do is go towards the path of where we're paying for fighters, A sides and B sides. So, I'm really a stickler on who I'm going to deal with out here in the future. Because of that, if we can't afford to pay for both fighters, we shouldn't be promoting. We should have enough business mindsets out there to go ahead and, collect your sponsors, collect your sell your spots or what have you.
Hey guys, and let me also, Jaime, I know I'm taking a lot of time, but I need to just say this briefly. I think the fight of the night wasn't Martinez Cordova. The fight of the night, I'm looking at my notes, was a gentleman by the name of Valenzuela and Gomez Duran. I'm telling you, this Gomez Duran, he fights, I think, for Canelo Promotions there in Guadalajara. This kid right now could fight a world champion in America. This was the fight of the night. And this kid, he's probably about 28, 27 years old. I mean, this kid has his footwork, his style. It was just, and the guy they had against him, I mean, it was a bloody mess, but it was a great fight. So hopefully
what weight
they'll
was
give
it?
him his paper. They fought at 147, Jaime,
Oh,
at
wow.
welterweight, 147. But this
Orthodox
kid looks like
Southpaw?
Canelo. Está más prieto. He's a little darker, but he's built just like Canelo. And this kid just hits hard, and it has great footwork and great body work too, waist work. Reminded me a lot of Canelo, but remember that name, Gomez Duran. He's the future.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about the other fight cards, gentlemen? What exciting fights? I mean, we'll get to the Tank and Barrios fight, which to me was very exciting. It was a great fight. It was a much needed fight. But I also got a chance to see the Loma and the Loma fight, and that to me was very impressive. He looked strong, man. He looked strong. He looked very confident, and he came out to prove something, and he finished. He took care of business. The fighter, the Japanese fighter, I have a hard time pronouncing his name, but he basically
Nakatani.
Nakatani.
Yeah.
He basically, I think he underestimated the power of Loma, and early on, he felt his power, and then he was just on the defensive the whole fight. It was hard for him to open up. Loma was in his face, and man, I can't wait to see actually another rematch of Loma and Teofimo.
That's it. He wants
Did
his
you guys
belt
get
back.
a chance to watch it? Did you watch it, Mikey? Mike?
He wants his belt back. He wants his belt back. I didn't, but I saw a little bit of the highlights, and you know what? Loma, he's out there with the vengeance. He's coming back with the vengeance. You can see the sense of just continuous, going at it and up the kid, but he wants his belt back. That's you could of course he does. I mean, we all know what the decision, the decision was, and it was kind of like iffy and all that because,
it's boxing.
The time, the time and place. But when the champion gets his belts taken away from him, it's something that just bites, and he with this fight here, he proved that that's what he wants next.
What did you think, Dave? Did you watch it, Dave?
Yes, I did watch it. Loma has something to prove, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But I have a question for Mighty Mike, the champ.
Yes.
Mighty Mike, you've been in so many fights, do you think that sometimes that somebody just has your ticket and no matter what you do, they're going to answer it? I feel that way with Teofimo and Loma. What are your thoughts on that?
I understand your question, and I will say that there is the code that can be cracked by a certain someone. I understand that, but I don't think it's with. I think Lopez. I don't think he has. I think Lomachenko is going to come back, and he's going to take his belt back. I believe that. I don't think Lopez cracked that code. So, but yes, there is. When a fighter understands, he has a rhythm. He goes in there, and he knows what punches to throw at you. He knows how to move. He knows what way you move. He knows what counter punches you throw. He knows everything, all that. He knows how to dodge your punches. He knows the timing, everything. When he's able to do all that, and he's able to understand, and he's able to perfect it, then yeah, of course he could crack the code. But I don't think that Lopez has that code. I don't think so.
I agree with you.
I think Lomachenko's gonna come back and he's gonna do a little bit more than he did last time, of course, and he's gonna get his bounce back. And then
Jaime,
there's
what are your thoughts? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, champ. Sorry.
gonna be a rubber match after that, you know?
Yeah. Jaime, what do you think about that?
Two things. When you said about a fighter having that the cracking the code, like the champ said, right?
Yes.
The first thing that came to my mind was Frankie Randall and Cesar Chavez. I think Frankie Randall he cracked Chavez's code, man. He wasn't the greatest of fighters of the time, but he had he cracked Chavez's code, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go back to the question. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think the inactiveness of Teofimo by the time that fight gets to that second fight is going to hurt him the most. I think if Teofimo was a little bit more active and polishing up his tools, I think he would figure out a way of keeping those belts. But right now, I think he's holding back a little bit too much, and I think it's going to hurt him at the end. I hope not. I like the kid. He's exciting to see, but so is Loma. So I can't wait to see it. I'm not going to call it, but all I know is going to be a war, and I think this next time around is going to be a knockout.
I think it goes to 3.
And you know what, Dave? I think that if they fight again, I don't think they're going to fight again. I don't think Teofimo is going to get back in the ring with him, because Teofimo, I think his father and him know that he's going to lose. Loma, for the first 6 rounds, did not. It wasn't the Loma, because once again, I mean, yesterday I watched the whole ESPN. Yeah. They were talking a lot about I guess he had a shoulder injury, and he had certain shots put in. He couldn't train for a week, but he says that's no excuse. But the Loma that fought Teofimo, and I know Teofimo isn't Nakanami, but the Loma that fought Teofimo yesterday was the Loma that we're used to seeing. But the only difference was that the Loma that we're used to seeing usually takes 2 rounds off, and on the 3rd round, he starts picking it up. He basically times his fighter. Yesterday, he started off first second of round 1. He went in there and started, I mean, right away coming up and going with the jab and then going to the left, going to the right, the shuffle. So I think that, like, I agree with Mike and I agree with Jaime. This next fight, it's never going to happen. I think Teofimo's going to get too big for that's going to be his excuse. I don't think it's going to happen, because I think he's going to go to 140 and then fighting 140. Hopefully he'll unite those belts. But if he ever fought Loma again at 135, I see an early stoppage. No doubt. I see an early stoppage by Lomachenko. Lomachenko was outstanding. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, yeah. See, Lomachenko, he's got some more. He's got something to prove now.
Yes, he does.
And Lopez understands that. And see, the first fight, he saw Lopez saw Lomachenko. He saw him coming in, and he was kind of just boxing him around and doing as much as he should. He understands that Lomachenko's out, and he's just gonna give it to him. So it might not be what. That's why he's saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go around this, corner about this fight.
I heard somewhere he's already agreed to a rematch.
That's great.
Yeah, no, his father was there, and his father says my son will agree. I mean, it was just a verbal thing, Jaime. I mean, there's nothing in writing. It was just the father that was there at the fight. And after they interviewed the father, I just read a little while ago, I read the father's statement. He says, well, Nakatani was never the same after he fought my son. So Loma fought basically a run down Nakatani, which, I mean, Nakatani just fought not too long ago. I think it was Pedraza, and he knocked him out, or one of the big fighters. So, I mean, it was the same Nakatani. It was just a better Loma. That's all it was.
Yeah,
somebody had to prove himself. Yeah,
prove a point, and that's what he did.
exactly.
Yeah,
Hey,
All right, I'm
guys,
gonna.
go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
yeah, he made a statement with that
Yeah.
performance, and he just wanted them to know that this is the Lomachenko that they're gonna have to deal with. They better be careful.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Better be careful.
It's gonna be a
Well,
good
there was
fight.
a reason. There was a reason his dad was there, though.
Oh,
There
of
was a
course.
reason
Yeah.
the dad was there. It was either to take the fight or to dodge him. So
Well, you know, Jaime, do you know why Teofimo wasn't there?
no.
Why?
You know why? Well, you understand that Teofimo, the reason why they canceled the fight last week with Cambrosos was he tested positive for COVID, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. He had COVID.
Okay,
Yeah.
but guess where he's at? On vacation in Italy. He's in Italy
Oh,
on
so he's
vacation
doing a
with
Keith
COVID.
Thurman.
With COVID.
He's doing a Keith Thurman.
Exactly. You know, now Jaime, it's
What happened
coming
to
out
Keith
that the
Thurman?
reason why they canceled the Cambrosos fight was because ticket sales were at the bottom low. They invested
Oh.
$6 million just for the fight. So now what they're saying on September 11th, when Oscar fights the Bellator, I guess he fights a guy named Bellator for the MMA, but they're gonna box. That's gonna be the main headline, and the fight pre-fight before that is gonna be Teofimo versus Cambrosos, but it's not gonna be till September 11th.
Wow.
But the problem is this. If they have that fight on what do you call that? On that new
Thriller.
on Thriller,
Tr-
the
Triller.
same time,
Thriller,
either
Thriller, yeah.
DAZN or PBC is going to have that fight with
Yeah,
Canelo and Caleb. So
yeah,
we're
this-
going to have two great fights on that weekend. So people
Yeah.
are going to have to choose DAZN or, PBC or Oscar fighting Bellator. Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on in boxing, guys. A lot of great stuff going on.
Yeah.
Dave, you were going to say something. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Yeah. No. So let's close off this this
Yeah, we can
Lomachenko
go on
fight
and on.
Okay, so here's the deal. You three believe that Lomachenko will come back and take out Teofimo
If they
that
fight.
fight.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you this. I'm the only one here that's going to say this. For some reason, I feel that Loma was Loma, and he made the mistake by coming out a little slower. But the thing about it is the reason why the slowness lasted up to 6 to 7 rounds was because Teofimo had the answer immediately. I mean, the guy studied those angles. I teach a lot of angles, and I study a lot of angles, and I watch it and what have you. I could not believe the way Teofimo came out in that fight and just shut him down. He actually shut him down. So my thing is this: if Loma is going to be Loma and Teo is going to be Teo, we're going to get the same fight, but it's just going to be the 13th round. I don't think that there will be a knockout. If there is, it'll be I think it'll be Teofimo knocking out Lomachenko. Those are just my thoughts. So I just want to say we're recorded here, and if it's me and then there's fire in my eye, well then I'll accept it. But
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that I just seen it 1,000 times where there's one guy out. I mean, you could fight the same guy that beat Lomachenko or lose to Lomachenko or Lomachenko. It doesn't matter. Whatever combination you do, you put those two fighters back in together. You're starting the 13th round all over.
Yeah. Hey, Jaime, not changing the subject, but Santillan fought Giovanni Santillan. You know what? That kid, I mean, he looks bigger now that he's fighting with training with Robert Garcia. He looked a lot better. The only thing is he got hit a little too much. He needs help with his defense, but this kid, I mean, he has a good solid right and he has a good hook and a good uppercut. This kid, he just gets hit a little too much. Needs to work a little bit more. Hopefully Robert's listening. I'm not going to tell Robert what to do. He's the champion. He's the best coach around, but he just got hit a little too much. But he won. He won a unanimous decision. Santillan did wonderful. And the other one that lost on that card was Biggie. I'm trying to remember his last name. He fights for Robert Garcia. What is it? Biggie
Rodriguez.
something. What is it?
Rodriguez.
Biggie Rodriguez.
Yes.
This kid is undefeated. I've seen Robert talk about him. I've seen him training, on video, of course. And he was, I mean, people were looking up to him and he lost. He lost that fight. I think it was a 6-round fight. I think it was 5-1. He lost the majority of the rounds. But you know what? Sometimes losing, look what happened to Canelo, is a blessing, right, champ? Losing
No
is a
doubt.
blessing. This kid
No
has a
doubt.
gift.
Learn.
Yes.
You
He'll be
learn
back.
you're able to, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But yeah, Jaime, I think we covered the ESPN card. The second fight, it was okay. It was a little boring, but Santillan, Biggie, and Lomachenko, I think that more or less covered it.
Well, let's
All right.
finish it up with the Tank Davis and Barrios, and I'll
Yeah.
just tell you my opinion. It was an exciting fight. I'm glad it was not a blowout with Tank. You know, and the power he possesses. You know, he does have like that little Mike Tyson, you know, fight persona in the ring. So I was like, man, I hope Barrios is able to take his shots, which he did for the first 6 rounds. But I think a lot of, and this is what I personally think, the way they trained Tank to take away the jab from Barrios, he was smothering that lead hand. And by smothering that lead hand, it threw him off. He couldn't set up the punches he needed. I mean, he did a great job, even though he was being smothered a lot. I mean, Tank knew exactly how to just, he was just pawing that jab and just controlling him. And then he was able to set up his shots. But he couldn't make that adjustment, man. He couldn't make that adjustment. Even Barrios was, even though he was a bigger fighter, he wasn't the stronger of the two, and he still needed to box him. He had no business standing in front of him. When he came into the, you know, up close and in the zone there, he didn't tie up when he was supposed to. He took unnecessary shots, and it just took a toll on him. And I think Tank knew that the whole time, and he was just waiting for Barrios to lose a little bit of steam.
He was breaking them down.
But what a heart, man, that kid had. That kid
Yeah.
should, you know, most of the fighters would have laid down after that first shellacking that he had when he was knocked down twice.
Yeah.
But he came back and fought, man. He fought. He gave it his all. And then at the end, bro, I mean, to be honest with you, I know that they gave one of the rounds was a you know, they gave him
2 point.
What round was it when he knocked him down twice? I mean, he was down a 10-7.
Round 8. I think it was round 8.
Round 8.
It was
Round 8.
That right there kind of balanced out the fight as far as you know, the rounds. But he was already hurt. So I mean, the momentum was already coming up with Tank, and that's when and I'm gonna get into this too. Regardless of what these people are saying on the different boxing websites and all that, they said, oh, Mayweather coached him to a victory.
Yeah, I saw.
I don't think Mayweather had any business doing that. If he's gonna be a promoter, stick to being a promoter. For him to walk all the way up to the front and talk to him like that, I think it was disrespectful to his coaches. His coaches obviously knew what it took to beat Barrios, and he was doing it. Yeah, they gave him a momentum. Hey, you're down on the cards. You better this and this and that. Okay. But to me, it was like, here's the coaches telling him, and then all of a sudden, zip your mouth. The man's talking. I don't know. I kind of have like a, you know, I didn't like that.
Why don't Mayweather just start coaching?
Well, the thing
He's
about
fighting,
it,
he's fighting every YouTuber. He's promoting everything now. Now he wants to get in the corners. You know, stay out of it, Mayweather. You know,
no, but he wants to show that he has some type of, you know, stillness. So
influence.
he's gonna overpower. He's gonna show his might, and you know, he's gonna do that. You know, and that's a little bit demeaning to his opponent's corner as well. Seeing that Mayweather's in there, and
Absolutely.
you know, the mind, it's a mental thing as well. So I could understand why he's doing that, and it's just maybe a thing, and it just might just be Mayweather just being Mayweather.
It's Mayweather being
Is
Mayweather.
that hey guys, is that illegal? I mean, for
It should
just
be.
anybody to go up to a corner and basically give advice, is that illegal?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
see, once you get to a certain status in the boxing industry, there's a lot of things that are legal to you.
No, but is it in the bylaws? Is it in the rules as being illegal?
I mean, he has a license, and if he has a coach's license, then it is legal.
Okay.
It's all about the coach's license.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah, but we don't know if he had the license to coach him. So he might have a coach's license, but just because you have a coach's license and you just don't have that right to walk up there because you have that license. So
I agree.
It's
There's a number one. The number one is the ref. That was Thomas Taylor, but who by the way I think always does an excellent job. He's just a top-notch ref. Okay. The number two is your main coaches. Your number threes are your assistant coaches, and then it ends. Yeah, I mean you have your assistant coaches there, but you know, for somebody to come out unofficially and try to join the corner, I believe that is illegal.
A chief second license or something, and he just under the radar, where he didn't show the people, and then he played it off as if he was just in the crowd, which is, you know, what you could do, and then he made it kind of like movie like, where he comes in and he tells them this and all that. So I'm sure he signed up for a chief second.
Hey guys, I didn't see the fight. I wasn't gonna pay for that fight card because I was watching the Lomachenko and the zone, so I was up till close to 1 a.m. watching the fights. So I wasn't gonna have 3 TVs. I had 2 TVs on, but I wasn't gonna have 3. So I stayed with the other 2. But let me ask you guys a question. I didn't see the fight, but I'm gonna see it free next week on Showtime next Saturday. But let me ask you guys a question. Is he ready for the 140, guys? Because, I mean, you're looking at a paper champion. I mean, yeah, he was a champion, but he's not the true champion. The true champion is Josh Taylor. He has all 5 belts when you bring in Ring Magazine. Is he ready for a Josh Taylor? Is he ready for a Jose Ramirez? Is he ready for Regis Progress? That's 140. Is he ready for that, guys?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
You think Tank is?
Yes.
he has incredible power, man.
Yeah.
He has incredible power. A lot of people think he's going to move up higher than 140. I don't think so.
No.
But yes, he does have what it takes, and it'll be exciting to see. Tank's the real deal, man. He's a beast.
How do you guys see him with Ryan Garcia? Now, Oscar La Hoya came out a little while ago on the media saying, I want him to fight Ryan Garcia. What do you guys think about that? Who's going to be the winner there?
I think that'd be a perfect matchup.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight.
That'd be a toss-up there. If Ryan could keep his distance, keep his height, keep his distance, and box like he knows how, he'll whip Tank all day long. Tank lost every round in that fight all the way up until he started connecting Barrios. Barrios got connected and then started allowing Tank to get in closer and closer and closer. Just like Jaime said, he wasn't on his wheels. He didn't fight, you know, boxing him. He ended up getting a little closer and trying to go toe to toe. He came out of his game plan, and that's where Tank was able to pretty much disassemble him. Now, as for, you know, Ryan Garcia, Ryan has what it takes to make this a trilogy if he wanted to do it. I think Ryan, if he kept him on the outside and just dotted him up from around the ring and not allow Tank to get close, just like that, I mean, he's got to do it. But see, Ryan also has a wicked power too. So, and he can hit you from far away, and he will tack that body. Now, Tank showed a lot of resilience, especially to the punches of Barrios. He walked right through those punches. Ryan's a different character. Ryan has those shots, man, where they're throwing those rocks and it's hitting the body, you know. So I think that would be an excellent matchup, to be honest.
Dave, I agree with you, Dave. I 100% agree with you, and I think I'm gonna say also that I think Ryan beats him. I think Ryan beats him.
I agree with one concern. If Tank hits that jaw, I don't think Ryan's going to be able to take it.
Understood.
If he boxes him and keeps him away,
that's it.
Kind of like what Barrios was doing.
Yeah.
Plus 2 more rounds, yes. Tank gets a hold of that grill, and I think it'll be good night. he's been hit and
Yeah.
he's been hit and hurt by
Mhm.
less power.
Mhm.
What
Just
about
like
the body shots from Tank, guys? What about the body shots to Garcia? I mean, we're talking about, getting hit in the face, but what about the body shots?
Well,
Tank,
You gotta-
Garcia.
he laid out Barrios with a wicked body shot.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
right.
so
If Tank gets a hold of you, I mean, you got to fight the perfect boxing fight.
Box.
You have, you have to, from round 1 all the way to round 12, you have to Mayweather it.
Yep.
You have to Mayweather it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't allow yourself to get hit. Because the second you do, these guys got your number with anybody. Look at Canelo. Second he touches that body, you're done.
Yeah.
Same thing with. But can he be beat? I think he can. I mean, I think Barrios opened up that door for him. Is Tank a contender in the 140s? Absolutely. Will he make it all the way to the top? I believe so. But let's start really looking at some good matchups here. I mean, how tall is Ryan Garcia as opposed to Barrios? I think he's a little taller, isn't he? He's about 3 inches taller.
No, I don't think so. I think they're about the
No?
same height. They're about 5'11" each, right? I don't think Ryan's 6'1", 6'2". Is he?
I thought Ryan was a little taller.
Yeah, no, I think they're about the
I
same
don't think so,
size.
but I think with Tank's power and having that power and that leverage from being so small, I think it would be a disadvantage to Ryan to be too tall for Tank to come right under him and hurt him.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said,
He'd have to fight like Tommy Hearns.
Styles make fights, man, and but Ryan would have to be on his bike. He'd need to pop and get out of there. He needs to be smart, fight him smart. But if he goes into a brawl, I don't see him winning.
Same here.
That's what he'll do, Jaime. He's gonna try and outbox him the best he could. You know what? He can do that. I think he can do that.
But Tank is smart, bro. He allows the opponent to think, kind of like lures him in, and then boom, sopas, you're done. He did that with Leo. He did it with Barrios. And as long as they're prepared for that, then yes, it's going to be an entertaining fight. That at the time that he thinks, hey, I'm going to go toe to toe to give the fans a show, I think he'll start not doing too good, because I think Tank's just too powerful. Ryan, to me, Ryan, I mean, hands down, is the better of the two as far as a boxer. But the power is tremendous in Tank.
But that speed from Ryan, it creates power.
Of course.
That speed from Ryan really can't create that power. So I think that's where, into the body of Tank, not to the head. You hit Tank in the head, it just bounces right off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to attack that body, hit that liver as hard as he can, as many times as he can, to slow him down. Because he's not going to.
I'm going to tell you one more thing. I'm a very how can I say, not surprised by it, but I appreciate Tank for, is that he is not cocky, bro. He's a very humble guy, very respectful, and to me, I think that's going to take him a long way. Once he starts getting too Adrian Broner, then things are going to go south for him. But
and look who's hanging around with Adrian Broner and Mayweather.
Well, Mayweather at least backed it up, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. At least he backed it up. But hey, talking about that, Barrios had a little Adrian Broner moment too, man. They started combing his hair there.
Oh my gosh, man! I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Come on, pops.
Yeah, I thought, man, they brought out the 3 flowers. Like they brought out the 3 flowers to hook them up real quick.
That's showbiz.
That's funny. Hey guys, what about the undercard? We were talking about this big fight. What about the undercard? You guys watch that? I think Lubin fought Rosario, right? What was that fight?
What a fight! Lubin after because he lost to Tank, right? Or who did Lubin lose to? I'm sorry.
Lubin lost against Charlo.
Against Charlo, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Lubin looked incredible yesterday. He executed everything well. He was fast. He was on his toes. He was boxing and throwing punches with total intent for the whole fight. and that's what gave him. I mean, his defense was good. He looked sharp. It was like a new fighter. You
And
know,
Rosario went down on another body shot. Remember the last fight when he fought against, he was a world champion. He fought against Charlo, and Charlo hit him in the stomach, and he went down. I heard, I didn't see the fight, but I was reading about it. Did that same thing happen? Was it a body shot?
Yeah. Oh, for Lubin, yeah, I think he
For
knocked him out.
Rosario. Yeah,
Oh,
Lubin.
Rosario
Yeah.
body shot, yeah.
Body shot. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So they got his number, huh? What about the
Yeah.
other fights? What other great fight was there?
It was
Go
a
ahead, Mike,
combination
I'm
of
sorry.
body.
No, I was to say, Dave, they're gonna find a weak spot. They're gonna attack it instantly.
Mhm.
His opponent's gonna come back, do the same thing if he knows it, and that's what happened.
Yeah. True.
That's no one.
Guys, since we brought up Charlo, can we bring up last week's fight real quick?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a chance to speak about last week's fight.
Mhm.
I think Charlo was totally exposed
Yes, he
last
was.
week's fight.
Mhm.
I'll let you guys take it from there.
That's why Benavidez said, "Hey, we both want the cash cow with Canelo.
Go.
Let's fight each other, and then let's go after it." I think
Yeah.
Benavidez said the right thing right there. I think Benavidez had a big smile at the end of that fight.
Oh yeah.
I think he was dripping. He knew that. Come on, Charlo. Let's put your money where your mouth's at, and let's get it on, and then then everybody's gonna want to see that fight with Canelo.
Oh yeah,
And
everybody wants to
that
see.
fighter. Oh,
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just saying. I was just gonna, really, everybody wants to see that fight now. Benavidez and Canelo already.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
you know what fight I want to see Charlo. I'd like to see Charlo unite the belts just like his brother did, Jermel. I'd like to see him fight Triple G next, or fight Boo Boo Andrade and then Triple G, and then that unites the belts. What do you guys think about that?
That'd be great.
They need to give Boo Boo a shot, man. They got to give that poor guy a shot. This guy's been up there in the top 10 forever, man, and nobody's giving him a shot. They're all avoiding him. Let's allow him to put his money where his mouth is, and let's see if he can clean these guys up. Just like I believe that he's going to knock a few of these guys out. I believe that.
You think he'll knock out Charlo?
I'm not saying Charlo, but I think out of the top 5, I think he's got a couple of knockouts in there against some of these guys. Charlo, I think that's going to be probably a lackluster fight. I mean, there's going to be nothing but good that comes out of that fight for both fighters. The thing about Charlo is now that Boo Boo has actually seen him fight this last fight against that unbelievable that fighter. I can't even remember his name, but he was unbelievable in the ring.
Montiel, the one that he just fought, Montiel. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, he was. Man, that guy was elusive. He stood right in front of him. He switched southpaw, switched to orthodox. He did have no power. If he had power, then Charlo would have been in trouble. But he had no power whatsoever. But he was so elusive standing right in front of Charlo. I mean, could you imagine being Charlo, somebody who's knocking people out all the time, and just getting frustrated by this young man that is just elusive, that's right in front of you? I mean, it's like fighting Canelo, but without power.
That's what happens when you get in front of a bully with moves. That's what happens.
I'll tell you. I'm going to be very honest with you. When I was a cop, I fought a lot of people that were under the influence of PCP. And when somebody's under the influence of PCP, they're like zombies.
Yeah.
You could hit them as much as you can. You could break the wrist. Literally, you could break the wrist. You could break their collarbone, and they'll still come at you. Still come at you. And I'm telling you, Montiel, he was getting hit with everything, the refrigerator with a baseball bat, and the kid reminded me of these guys on PCP. You know what I mean? I mean, nothing. He came out with no marks on his face. Nothing. Charlo came out with a black eye, So
what a great analyzation, David.
What am I watching,
I've actually fought in the street guys like that, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
you could hit them
they're
and
not,
hit them, nothing.
they're not on their drugs, and you tell them to cry and they'll cry, man. They get on the
Yeah.
drugs, you can't whip them, man. My God, they
You
turn
can't,
into
you
the
can't.
rubber band man, you know,
Yeah,
you hit them and hit them and hit them, and
you
they're
know
still
what,
looking at
Dave? And
you.
you know what Charlo said the day after the fight? He actually came out saying, I'll fight Bubu Andrade after he fights Montiel. He wants Montiel to fight.
He wants to put him to the test.
He wants to put him to the test.
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, but that guy was something else. I got to get hats off to Montiel.
Yeah.
Hats off to that guy, man. Proud of him.
Kid.
You
Man, that was nice. Yeah. Guys, if we have any questions for the champ, right now the only question we have, believe it or not, from Roger Demchuk is "Hola amigos," and the other one is "Who killed Howie Steindler?" This is from Roger Demchuk, and he's the detective that's helping us solve that case. So he's, I guess, being funny, and we hope to find out soon. And I'll give you guys an update next week on where we're at on that. We're making some good strides on that case. But
right.
questions to the champ, guys. What questions do we have? I'm hopefully next week when this is going to be a weekly thing now. We are going to come out live now. We've thanks to Jaime and his son, they've taken care of this problem. So every Sunday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, we will be on live. So if you're watching us starting next week, please send us messages. I'll be reading them. I'll be reading your questions. And we have a segment called Ask the Champ, where you could actually ask the champ anything related to boxing. Anything related to boxing. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Mike.
Dave, real quick, the build-up. And you guys want to understand what goes through the mind of a fighter, what we have to do before the fight, the preparation, the unbelievable amounts of hours, continuous sweating, bleeding a whole bunch too, because you know what? There is bleeding when it comes to sparring, when it comes to getting ready. Well, of course, there isn't any bleeding on my part, but there is going to be tough sparring out there, and there is going to be, people out there trying to get you more than ready and trying to prove a point on their end. So, of course, you're going to have all that. And if there's any questions that you guys want to know, what it's like to be in camp, what it's like to wake up at 5 a.m. and, get up and go and run and then come back and then eat a little bit of breakfast and then chill out while until training, and then after training, and then you go have some lunch, and then after lunch, then you have to go, go for the night workout. We do all that. So you guys have any questions, ask away. I'd be more than happy to answer. And of course, I'm gonna have, I have my co-host here to help me chime in as well, because I trust your intake as well, and you guys have seen it. You guys know what it takes.
So I'm happy, Jen. I'm happy you're there to answer those questions, man, and I can't wait. So we're reaching out to everybody out there that's listening. Send your questions, ask your questions. It doesn't matter how you get it to us. They will be answered. And if you have any ideas of anything that you would like us to cover also, do not be shy of that, and help us, create some different content. If there's certain things that you want us to cover, let us know, man. We are completely open.
The best possible way. Jaime, I don't want to put out there that I'm going to answer the best answer, because there's all, everyone's different, and I'm just going to answer whatever I went through. And if you guys have something that you'd like to, contest with or with any of my answers, please feel free to do so. I'd love to, go back and forth. I love it.
Well, champ, we're so honored to have you here, because, I can't turn around and I can't tell you what it's like to be a champion in the ring. I mean, all I know is I've never lost a fight sitting outside of the ring. I mean, sitting in the fan. I mean, I won every fight that there was. I mean, of course, I'm undefeated sitting in the fan, even in the front row, even though I've got hit with blood and sweat in the front row, but I don't know what it's like to be a champion in the ring. So, I mean, highly respected to you, sir. And thank you, sir, for being a part of us. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Hey, Jaime, I think we're at the segment where we have any announcements. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like to make a quick announcement for my Sheepdog Assist program. That's for people suffering from PTSD or depression or anxiety. This week, Jaime, I'm going to have a special guest. These past 2 weeks, I've been getting a lot of calls about not only boxers, you know that, Mike, but also people that have been bewitched by witches, witchcraft. So I have an expert, a guy named, I'll be introducing him this week. Next week, this week I'll be filming him, and my segment is going to be witchcraft, the occult, Satanism, and PTSD. So if you can, listeners, please watch my show, Sheepdog Assist, ACIST, Active Critical Incident Stress Trauma. You could find it on YouTube, Sheepdog Assist. I have a special segment on the occult next week. And also,
Wow.
Jaime, I think you probably want to talk about Bronze Nation, right?
Yeah, I'm going through these little difficult times, like you mentioned earlier, but to kind of preoccupy the mind, I've been doing some research on the Bronze Nation as far as new content for Mexican American history and success stories and so forth. But I'm doing something right now on a story about nopales, and there was this Mexican, and I'm not gonna say too much because then they'll throw my story away. But there was somebody that came from Mexico. He was a student in agriculture, a well-known student, and he went to Africa to help combat hunger, and introduced the nopales to Africa to help them against hunger. And it's a neat story. I'm going to stop there, but I'm just going to tell you that a little bit of Mexico ends up going to Africa, and helping out and saving people's lives, and actually animals as well, because he taught the Africans how the animals can survive with nopales too. So
I mean, that's an old school dish. My grandmother loved nopales. Everything was nopales with everything.
I just had it last night, bro. So yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it in different forms and ways, but God puts everything on this earth, bro, with a purpose. And sometimes, what we need is right in front of our face, and we just kind of overlook it. So that's a story. And one of my videos that I did on the Filipino connection, Mexico and the Philippines, is going viral in the Philippines right now. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of daily. I'm getting people emailing me and telling me that they enjoyed the story, they didn't realize it, and so forth. So I'm having fun with it. You really appreciate who you are once you know who you really are. And so yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I know Trujillo has something to say about his gym. I think it's about 90% done. His new move. It's beautiful. I've seen it. I've only seen it on video and some pictures that a friend of mine went to go visit. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jaime. We are about 90% done. I got to spend a weekend with Jaime for his birthday, and that was probably pretty much mostly the only days that I've had off, probably in the last 12 weeks. And that being said, I want to tell everybody out there that not only owns a gym but has a business, and it's your own business, and to be able to put this together, to be able to put your businesses together, and you know what it takes and what you have to do regardless, no matter what, to make it happen. There's right ways and wrong ways of doing it. There's cutting corners, there's shortcutting things and whatnot. This one we're choosing not to cut the corners, but to take the time and get it done right. And that's why a lot of people haven't seen much sparring out of us lately, because some things we have to sacrifice for a little bit in order to make the whole machine work accordingly. And we're getting there. We've got we're almost done with the flooring. I mean, it's beautiful. It's the black rubber flooring. We installed a 21 bag monster heavy bag deal. We still have our beautiful ring. That's an official 20-foot ring, USA official. All this being said, be looking at some good stuff coming out of us. The House of Pain will be up and running pretty heavy in mid-July. And not only that, you know, we're embarking on other things as well, and we'll keep you updated on that. And it has to do with, you know, future fights. A lot of local California fighters, a lot of Colorado fighters. I want to shout out to Steve Mestis with their type boxing and HOP in Colorado. Tell you what, those guys are doing a lot of work out there, and we're going to bring that connection here shortly. And we're going to have a big surprise for everybody that's watching here in California and everybody that's watching in Colorado, because Jaime has been involved a lot in this, and it's coming little by little. Everything's coming, but you know, if you're going to do things right, you know, we have to be patient and understand that it takes time. So we're doing this all the right way. So we're being blessed, and God has his hands on us all.
Yeah, I think we lost Mike. I think his battery just took a dump.
Yeah, we lost him. He lost him.
Unless-
We'll
unless
hear
I
him next
barking.
week.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm gonna lose my battery here soon, so I'm gonna depart. I thank you for coming together, and I thank you for all your prayers, man. And I'll be talking to you tomorrow. I need to get a hold of you guys tomorrow and kind of give you an update on something else. So I appreciate you both. Thank you so much, man. And I'm interested in hearing what you got to say, Contreras, about what we talked about. So thank you both, and you guys have a good night.
You too.
Be
Good
blessed,
night.
brother.
God bless
Be
you guys.
blessed.
Bye.